Thank you for being a part of my world. I'm Michelle Graves on today's segment of a snippet related to the power of money. And today I'm going to be talking to all of you about the crisis in long-term care. You say, why you want to continue to drill on this? Because, folks, this is real. Now, before getting into the crux of what I'm going to talk about today, I want to encourage you to subscribe. That's right. I will send you on a weekly basis a financial news update for news you can't get anyplace else. One of the things I find that amazes me is how do you talk about having an advisor and they don't know more than you know? You can Google, click, and find out stuff. But the purpose of an advisor is to help you to avoid bad consequences from things that you don't know in the financial arena. For example, and I'm not trying to be presumptuous or arrogant, and we are going to get to the crux of this conversation today. For example, I predicted in 2006, documented on television, the crash of 2008. I said that it was not sustainable for people to continue buying these homes and refinancing. And it was not sustainable. Wall Street had gotten greedy and dirty and nasty. And predictably in 2008, boom, Bear Stearns went like, damn, Lehman Bank. Who would have thought Lehman Brothers would be out of business? They're an icon. All this happened because Wall Street was piggish. Now, if you were smart and listened to me, and believe me, I was trying to blast it everywhere, tell everybody on television, on radio, get your money out, put it into simple things like cash accounts. And the majority of people did nothing. And you know why they did nothing? Because they actually put me on the same level as their broker. And I'm like, really now? I could have saved you 60% of your lost money if you just taken the time to do what I recommended. So I'm going to ask you again to subscribe to The Power of Money, The Power of Money, and become a part of my world and stay on top. I'd love to be able to help you, but you know what? If you're out here thinking that you know what I know, then I can't do anything for you because, hey, I don't know what you know. But I do know what I know. So shifting, let's talk about my subject for today, and that is the crisis in long-term care. The real crisis in America, this is the real crisis, is not only healthcare costs, which as you get older, they get higher because you use the system more. And your body starts breaking down. I know for those of you that are popping and doing it, it's hard for you to believe that you're going to get to my age and stuff isn't going to be working right, that you can actually get sick and not get better. Statistics say 7 out of 10 Americans, count the number, 7 out of 10 Americans that are over the age of 65 will have medical issues that are classified as chronic, meaning they aren't going to get better. That would be diabetes, high blood pressure, issues with just your overall health, Alzheimer, all those medical and medicine pills that are in your grandmother's closet. Or if you're my age, so many of you are taking everything to stay alive. Well, unfortunately, Medicare does not pay for long-term care. Medicare is the health plan for seniors 65 years and older, primarily, who need health insurance. The government automatically covers it. Now, there are some significant exceptions and all the above. You can get that information again by going to my website. I have an interview with Jeff Hendricks, who is a specialist on Medicare, and he talks about Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, and you will learn for yourself about Medicare. It's important that you know this because Medicare does not pay for long-term care, meaning you need help. Your condition has progressed to a point where you can't function without help. That is major. Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to give you help? Well, as far as the government is concerned, The only way you're going to get help is through Medicaid. And Medicaid is essentially for the poor. Okay? The poor. P-O-O-R, the poor. The most you can have in total assets is $1,500. So you say to yourself, well, I don't have that much money. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Without long-term care insurance, the little bit you have will be zero. Under the terms of spin down, you, unless you're married, and if you're married and your wife is in the home, or you have a dependent child, and I say dependent meaning they have medical conditions, but if you're just a everyday Joe Blow or Mary Sue and you need help, then the government says you have to spin down, liquidate everything. That's your mutual funds, that's your savings account, that's your stocks, that's even your IRA. Oh, yes, indeed. Everything has to go, because their position is the only way we're going to pay for you for long-term care is if you have nothing. So they say $1,500. That's it. Most people go into shock. First, because sadly, the majority of us don't want to deal with the fact that we are aging and what that looks like. For all of us, I mean, even myself, I'm telling you, I work out, I do all that stuff. But here's the deal. I'm not 40, I'm not 20. I'm in my 60s. And stuff don't quite move the same way in your 60s as it does in your 40s. Okay? And for those of you that have not been taking care of yourself, have not been eating properly, have not been exercising, all the things that are necessary just to keep you on even par, you're not even doing that. You're sitting in front of the television like it's glued to you. You know all the soaps, you know all the stories, you look at things from afar, and you wave at people as they drive by. You don't even get up. So again, when sickness comes and you don't get better, then the reality of long-term care gets more serious. Now, there are some good things about long-term care. I'm not going to lie to you, private long-term care can be expensive depending upon the age and your health, because they're looking at health, they're looking at your age. The younger you are, the better your pricing will be for premiums. If you are eligible for long-term care, and the only way you're going to know is you're going to have to call a long-term care specialist. I am a long-term care specialist. There are others in the industry. We have to go through training and certification, but that's the only way you're going to know. And I'm going to say to you just openly and honestly, if you qualify, get it. Why? Because if you don't have it, you're going to have nothing. Okay, nothing at all. I want to wrap up today by saying there are some alternatives and some options, but you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is The Power of Money. Again, The Power of Money, and learn about long-term care insurance. Know what your options are, know what your alternatives are, and I wish you only the very best. God bless you today. You take care. Michelle Graves, The Money Lady.